Welcome back to the Indy Boys Racing Podcast. We have a very special show for you guys today. But first, how about that new intro? Absolutely gorgeous. Justin Cox on that intro, absolutely beautiful. What a great one. A little bit of an Easter egg there. Comment down below if you noticed what the Easter egg was in the intro there. But yeah, it's after coming off of a interesting weekend of racing at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We're going to talk all about it. But episode number 40, guys, we made it to 40.
That's so
incredible.
Crazy. Yeah, dude, that's weird.
It is really weird, but it's going to be a good one. And now that we're 40 seconds into this episode, I might as well introduce myself. My name is Tristan Grider, joined with, as always, my incredible co-hosts, Daniel Chaney and Justin Cox. How are we doing today, boys?
I'm all right, man. We don't have class this week, fall break, so that was kind of cool. I didn't have to stress myself out today too much. Went to the gym earlier this morning, and then just a minute ago I got back from my cousin's football game, his high school football game, so it was pretty fun. I stayed till halftime, but no, this last week's been pretty good. I guess, I don't know, it's just been all right. And then racing over this past weekend, I think Xfinity was kind of all right. It was all right.
Xfinity had a pretty good ending, though.
Yeah. And then I didn't get to watch much of the Cup race because I was actually at Zubu at the Indianapolis Zoo with my girlfriend and her cousin, but it's basically like her nephew in a sense. But yeah, so I don't know. It was kind of fun, but I checked out a lot of the things that happened, and I'm not gonna disclose them because we'll talk about them a little later. But yeah,
of course we will.
Daniel, what's up?
I had a pretty good weekend. This week we only have 2 days off for fall break, which is a little annoying.
Same. I only get 2. I get today and tomorrow.
That's how I am.
I saw you were in town, actually. I saw you were back home.
I got to go home for a few hours. Just kind of get off campus for a little bit. It was the first time I had been back home since, I guess, when I got COVID, which was the week before classes started. It was nice to be back for a little bit, but I had to work this weekend, just working some desk hours. But got to watch Cup. At least I got to see the second half of Cup, because Colts game comes first. I'm sorry, NASCAR. Didn't really get to see much of Xfinity that I can recall. I thought it was a solid weekend of racing. Obviously, we'll get into stuff later that kind of seems to be overshadowing the main race. But we'll talk about that.
Speaking of Colts, those boys in blue and white took it home this weekend, baby. That's a dub. That is a W. Say it with me, Daniel. Alec Pierce is him. He is Timothy. He is an absolute dog. I was pissed though because I ordered an Alec Pierce jersey a couple weeks ago because I picked him up on my fantasy team. And my jersey was supposed to be here on Sunday, but it didn't get here because apparently NFL doesn't ship anything out on Sunday.
Oof.
And so it's going to be here this week, so I'll have it in time for when I'm going to the Colts Commanders game, which I just found out is no longer going to be a Carson Wentz revenge game because he's out with injury for the next couple of weeks. So it's going to be me getting to watch Taylor Heineke at QB for the commies, but it's gonna be all right. But yeah, otherwise I'm doing all right. We got a lot of motorsport
I'm dead.
media news. You've never heard that? You've never heard that?
Jay.
No.
That's surprising.
Yeah, go commies, baby.
Wow.
Go commies.
I'm dead.
But I'm excited just because Wednesday is opening night for the Indiana Pacers. I'm gonna try to go
Oh my
get myself
gosh,
some.
that is this week.
Are you trying to go?
Think I gotta work.
Well, they're $9 tickets.
I've spent too much money on tickets for stuff, so
They're $9.
They're $9?
Don't tempt me.
They're $9 tickets for the nosebleeds. That's where I'm going.
Get back to me on that one.
I always go to the bleeds. Anyway, but we got a lot of news to talk about. Quick little 4.5 minute intro. Let's go ahead and go into motorsport media. All right, let's go ahead and start with the smallest NASCAR Cup Series announcement. Blake Harris, who is the current crew chief for Michael McDowell, who is my boy, my absolute boy. Blake Harris has been the reason that Michael McDowell has pretty much ran as well as he has this season. He was the former car chief on Martin Truex Jr.'s number 78 when they won the championship. He's going to be the crew chief for Alex Bowman in the 48 car next season for Hendrick Motorsports. And the crazy thing about this is that this was his first year as a crew chief, and the success that he had with Front Row Motorsports got Mr. Hendrick's attention. So he's going to be the crew chief, replacing Greg Ives at the Ally 48 next season. Super awesome for Blake Harris. Speaking of Alex Bowman, he will be out these next 2 races due to concussion protocol injury. Noah Gragson will continue to fill in for him, and to be honest with you, Gragson has been doing incredible these last couple of weeks. Top 10 speed on Sunday, so hopefully Bowman gets well soon. Speaking of concussion protocol, this is some really, really sad news for a driver that is one of the favorites of all of us. Kurt Busch will retire from full-time Cup Series racing after the 2022 season. That's a little sad.
It's weird. It's like weird to hear that.
It's really weird to say. I have watched Kurt Busch race in every single race I think I've ever watched in the NASCAR Cup Series. Yeah, that's crazy. Like racing
he's not
full time
retiring necessarily. He's just
Yeah,
stepping
but
away for next season.
Full time.
We'll see, but he was the last driver to race with Dale Earnhardt. That's currently still in the Cup Series. So yeah, that's crazy. So he will step away from full-time racing next season. We'll do a bucket list sort of similar to Jimmy Johnson. Could we see Kurt run the Indy 500 next year? I would love to see that. But he's got to get healthy first.
The Bush Bros versus the Bus Bros Indy 500.
Hey, that would actually be kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie.
That's kind of hard. We need to put that on our shirt. Anyway,
Bush Bros versus the Bus
but who's gonna drive the 45 next season? We've been saying it all along. Tyler Reddick is going to drive the 45 next season. He's been bought out by RCR, so RCR is probably just going to run 2 cars full-time next season, possible 3rd car with Austin Hill, maybe Sheldon Creed, get some Cup starts in that 3rd car. But Tyler Reddick going to drive the 45 next season. I've heard that 3Chi is going to be the main sponsor of that 45 in partnership
so you're telling me we get a 3Chi car, a Jordan car, and a Don's car. We get Tyler Reddick in the Don's McDonough car.
Don's!
This is a dub for me. This is the greatest thing to ever happen to me as a Tyler Reddick fan. Yeah, wins. Jordan car, McDonald's car.
I am going to ask the question, though, Daniel, just because you were a Tyler Reddick fan and then you became a Richard Childress Racing fan. Are you still going to be repping the RCR boys, or are you going to officially be a Toyota guy?
Xfinity guys, yes, because I liked them before they were RCR guys, but Richard Childress, take this L. I'm moving on, boy.
What about Kyle Busch? You like Kyle Busch?
I do like Kyle Busch, and I will still support Kyle Busch and be a Kyle Busch fan, I guess. I'm less of a fan, he's still in my main guys that I follow, but I don't actively buy his merch and stuff. I will be supportive of him and want to see what he does with it, but dog, I gotta follow my guy. He's now gonna be teammates with my other favorite drivers.
You won't be like me, who keeps buying Casey Kane's sprint car racing merch.
Yeah,
got it. Because I still do that to this day. I will buy sprint car racing merch. Anyway, we gotta move on. But sad to see Kurt Busch go, but exciting for Tyler Reddick to be in the 45 next season. Justin Allgaier is going to re-sign with Junior Motorsports for 2023, so he'll be back in the 7 car. There was some speculation that he might be getting a Cup ride. I believe the rumor was that he was going to do some starts with Colleague next season if they didn't find a driver, but returning to JRM next season. Now this is the big news we have to talk about. There is a lot. What the hell is going on at Stewart Haas Racing?
Fact.
So first thing we have to mention is the Ford development program. They don't have a whole lot of drivers now, because if you look at the Ford development program now in the truck series, you're losing David Gilliland Racing. They're going to Toyota, and that is the reason why Haley Deegan is leaving DGR. And you look at Ryan Preece now, who was doing all those starts in the truck series for DGR. You look at some of your Ford development guys you had with Tanner Gray and Taylor Gray. They are no more now, because they're sticking with Toyota. What do? You have Haley Deegan, you have Riley Herbst, and that's pretty much it. You have Ryan Preece.
You pull a RCR or a 23XI and still drivers.
Now here's the thing. I want to go back to what we learned right before the green flag. Bob Pockris let us know that Gene Haas would like to see Cole Custer return to the 41 in 2023. Tony Stewart, the co-owner of Stewart Haas Racing, would like to give Ryan Preece a chance and have him drive the 41. Now, Ryan Preece currently the reserve driver for that 41 for SHR, and has been doing part-time starts in the Xfinity Series for BJ McLeod and for a couple other little teams, and he's been doing mostly almost a full-time season in Truck Series with David Gilliland Racing. Now we got to talk about Ryan Preece. I believe that Ryan Preece was signed to Stewart Haas Racing to be Kevin Harvick's replacement. And since Gene Haas in that same tweet so kindly mentioned, he said that Kevin Harvick will not be returning to SHR after 2023. This could mean that that Kevin Harvick is retiring. We don't really know for sure. I personally don't know for sure. Kevin Harvick is old. He's been in the Cup Series just as long as Kurt Busch has, and has been racing for the exact same amount of seasons. Kevin Harvick is not Mark Martin, and he will probably not continue to race into his 50s. I don't see that happening. So, yeah, I think Harvick will retire after 2023. And if Harvick retires after 2023, who do you put in that 4 car? Ryan Preece. I think that's a great decision. Now, with Gene Haas wanting to put Cole Custer back on the 41 next season, as much as I hate that decision, that might be their best bet. Because if you look at the Ford development program, you have Haley Deegan, who is not Cup ready. She's not Cup ready. You have Riley Herbst, who still, in my opinion, isn't Cup ready. I don't think Riley Herbst is Cup ready because he can't make it out of the first round of the Xfinity Series playoffs.
Yeah,
3
you
straight
could make
years.
an argument, but
Yeah. 3 straight years we've seen Riley Herbst make the playoffs. 3 straight years he's gotten eliminated in the first round. I don't think he's ready for Cup Series action. So what do you do? I really don't know.
You're gonna have to start expanding somewhere. That's all it comes down to. You got to start expanding somewhere, instilling drivers. That's all it comes down to.
You also have to think about though is that I don't see SHR as a top free agent destination for a lot of drivers anymore. Let's go back to 2018. Okay? 2018 in my opinion was the peak of Stewart Haas Racing.
Right.
Sure, you won that championship in 2014. Huge for the organization with Harvick. You have 2 championships with Tony Stewart in 2011 and Kevin Harvick in 2014. You have nothing since. 2018, though, in my opinion, was the biggest year for Stewart Haas Racing because they had a strong veteran team. Kevin Harvick driving that 4, Eric Almirola in the 10, Clint Boyer in the 14, and Kurt Busch in the 41. Daniel, you don't know this because you weren't really watching NASCAR back then, but all 4 of those entries made the round of 8 that year. Half of the round of 8 was Stewart Haas Racing. It was crazy. It was absolutely mind-boggling, actually. So, 2019 happened. That season, I believe they won 13 races. Like, that's a lot. That's a third of the races that season. And that was also the same year that was the first year, the Hendrick with Bowman and Byron full-time. That was the first year of Chase Elliott in the 9 car. So it was a whole different thing over there.
Yeah.
But 2019 happened. Kurt Busch lives to go to Chip Ganassi Racing. Daniel Suarez fills his seat 41. You see Kevin Harvick have a good year. in 2019. That's really it. 2020 happens. Dan Suarez leaves. You see Cole Custer go to that 41. You see, again, Kevin Harvick have a really good year, and Cole Custer got a win that year, but nothing else. We didn't see anything else that year. 2021, one win from Eric Almirola. This year, 3 wins. You get Chase Briscoe with a win and Kevin Harvick with 2 wins. Just in those 4 seasons, we saw every veteran driver that was consistently winning leave. We saw Kurt Busch leave. We saw Clint Bowyer leave. And they're both retired now. It's just crazy. I don't know. I don't know what you have to do. And I don't see SHR as a top free agency destination because you remember they lost out on Kyle Larson in the 2020 offseason. I don't really know. But we're spending way too much time on Stewart-Haas Racing. In my opinion, you keep Custer in the car for next season, keep Preece around, run a Xfinity Series car. I personally think I don't want Custer. Go ahead.
They don't even know if Almirola is going to be back, though. I saw that he says, that Gene Haas said that Harvick, he doesn't know if Harvick or Almirola is going to be back next season.
Yeah, Aaron Almirola's contract expires after next season, and to be honest with you, Aaron Almirola was supposed to retire this season, so I don't know what's going on at SHR. They need to get some free agency signings. They need to steal some guys away from the Xfinity Series. I mean, Brandon Jones doesn't look like he's loyal anymore, so you might need to scoop him up, honestly. And I think Brandon's Cup Series ready, kind of. I don't know. You might need pull some string there. But anyway, that's all I got to talk about on the NASCAR side of things. Let's go ahead and go over to Jay. He's got some F1 news, and then we'll go Daniel with IndyCar.
Okay, so actually before I start this, I want to say that this past week has kind of been a little slow for F1 news. It's been a little slow for F1 news, and
Tip-tapping away.
Yeah, but
Tip-typing.
But yeah, there's been it's been kind of a slow week for F1 news. There's been a little bit of stuff, but we'll go ahead and get into it now. So Mick Schumacher and Logan Sargent are now the obvious candidates to join Williams in 2023. Logan Sargent would need to finish in the top 5 in Formula 2 this year to secure the necessary super license points, so that could be completely decided in Abu Dhabi. But it's looking more like Mick Schumacher is probably going to get that seat because he can be a guaranteed seat for next season for Williams. So Jos Capito has said that Williams is considering Schumacher, but Logan Sargent is also an option that they're looking into. So it's going to be interesting.
You have to put Mick Schumacher in that seat. There's no reason he shouldn't be in F1 next season. You have to put him in there.
Yeah. I believe something I read earlier this week, Gene Haas, or I think it might have been Gene Haas, I can't remember. He was talking about Mick, and the reason they're not bringing Mick back is because he costed them a lot of money with his crashes earlier this season. And that hurt the team's performance and development because of those crashes. And so... Interesting. But moving on, talking about Haas still, Pietro Fittipaldi will be driving, or F2 champion, Pietro Fittipaldi will be driving for Haas in FP1 in Mexico and Abu Dhabi.
He's getting that seat.
I'm saying I've had that predicted since.
You did call that.
I've been called that.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Brown has actually written a letter to the FIA about Red Bull's budget cap breach. The overspin breach, this is his words, the overspin breach and possibly procedural breaches constitute cheating by offering a significant advantage. So Zach Brown even went to the extreme that next season, how much Red Bull went over their budget cap cost or whatever, that's how much that's how much needs to be taken away from them in their budget cap for next season. So whatever it was, whether it was like the catering thing or something, I don't know. There's been an argument about whatever it is. Catering,
that was so funny.
My butt, catering my butt. But yeah, I don't know. Zach Brown said, "We don't feel a financial penalty alone would be suitable," is what Zach Brown said. So he says he wants more. And in a way, I kind of
Yeah,
agree with it.
Zach Brown wants more drivers.
Yeah,
He
when
already
does
has-
Zach
he
Brown?
already
When
has
does Zach
enough.
Brown not want more? Of course, but yeah, I don't know. Then the final two things I have kind of go hand in hand. Alex Plo, Pato Award will be making their first ever runs in an actual F1 car. They've been testing for McLaren a little bit. I like Portimao, and actually here recently, I think Pato was just this past weekend. Actually, Pato was just testing in Laguna Seca with the McLaren F1 car. Palau will run
Did
in
you see that?
FP1.
Did you see that video of Mario Andretti?
Yeah,
in
that was so cool.
The
Yeah.
goat.
That was,
And
that was pretty dope.
yeah, and then Pato got in Senna's I think was it like
Mhm.
72 McLaren. I can't remember what it was.
I think something like
But,
that. Whatever
yeah.
was in the movie. I
Yeah.
don't know. It was cool.
Yeah, but Palau, Alex Palau will run in FP1 in COTA, and then Pato will run in FP1 in Abu Dhabi. So that's pretty cool. So
cool.
excited to see them. Hopefully they'll get some super license points out of this. So that'd be cool. But
They better.
yeah.
I think that's automatic.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
yeah, so that's all I got for F1. So Daniel, if you want to go ahead and talk about IndyCar.
All right, so we've got a few things to talk about for IndyCar. I'll save like the big thing for last, just so we can kind of talk about it a little bit more, because some of this other stuff, like it has talking points, but not quite to the same level.
Yeah.
So starting it off, Indy Lights news. Rasmus Lind, don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
I think
He's
it's
going to be-
Rasmus. Like
Rasmus?
Rasmussen. I think it's because
Okay.
Rasmussen.
Rasmus, whatever his name is, Rasmus Lind will be driving for HMD Motorsports in 2023. This means 7 of the 8 seats that they're running. Yep, you heard that right. 8. We say that every time they announce one. He's going to be the 7th driver, and they will be announcing the final driver this week. So that's just the Indy Lights news. I like to see some fresh faces in Indy Lights, especially as more keep moving up into IndyCar or other kind
Yeah,
of
and I saw a
motorsport forms.
couple people were doing some tests with Jacob Abel's car.
Yeah,
So maybe
there's
maybe we'll
there's
see
an
some of
Able
those guys.
Motorsports testing. So we'll see what happens with that, and we'll figure out what happens with that 8th seat for HMD Motorsports. Moving on to IndyCar, there was an IndyCar test in Sebring this past week. Some names that were involved: Daniel Frost, Marcus Armstrong, Stingray Robb, Jury Vips from F2, Augustine Canapino, Jake Dennis, and Tom Blomqvist, all tested Indy cars. I know some of them and like what teams they did them with. I don't know every single driver what team they tested with. Like I think Daniel Frost did it with Dale Coyne.
And so did
Armstrong,
Marcus,
I believe,
Armstrong.
did. Was Armstrong Coyne?
Yeah, I think it was Armstrong, Frost, and Campino. I believe all were Coin, and then the
Well,
rest.
no, Canapino was Juncos, because
Oh, yeah.
he's the one that they're doing like the Argentina thing with.
And the rest of them were Juncos and Andretti. So I believe.
Well, Jury Vips was Ray Hall,
That's right. Yeah, I forgot. Yuri Vips was Rahal because there's a rumor that he might be
and
replaced.
Bloomquist was
Harvey.
Meyer Shank.
Like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
But
I knew,
Meyershank
I knew
is
those ones.
Meyershank is.
It's basically an Andretti car, but
Well, doesn't
Bloomquist obviously
doesn't
Hmm?
Blomqvist race for them in IMSA?
yeah,
That's what I
Bloomquist
thought.
has
Yeah.
ties with Meyer Shank's
Yeah.
IMSA program.
There
Which
was
is
rumors
why-
that there's rumors that he is Elio's replacement after
Yeah.
this season.
Which
Or
you can make
Pagano's
the argument.
Yeah.
You can make the argument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then moving on, Marcus Armstrong has stated that he's looking to run full-time at IndyCar in 2023. No duh. He's been rumored in all this Juncos second seat talk. Probably the headliner, most likely to take that seat.
There are rumors that he might take the Coin third car too if the Coin third car does happen.
But then what? Where would Lundqvist go?
I have heard rumors that Lundqvist might be heading to a different autosport series. Jay, I don't know if you've heard the news that Lundqvist might be in contention for an F2 possible seat next season. I've heard a lot of rumors about Lundqvist making the hop over
Interesting. Yeah, no, I haven't heard that.
But
Be interesting.
nothing official yet. But
Yeah.
there are also plenty of rumors about F1 drivers coming over to IndyCar. I mean, current
Yeah.
F1 drivers going over to IndyCar.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's plenty. So, I don't know.
It's hard to like. There's just so many rumors now that it's like, I don't know what to trust as like being the leading rumor. A lot of the times, as of now, kind of what's expected is that Marcus Armstrong will be the second Juncos car, but we don't know when that official announcement for whoever that second driver is going to be. We don't know when that's going to be. Moving on, Marco Andretti, he's returning to Andretti Autosports to the Indy 500. What? Who could have guessed?
Bro!
I believe I saw, as of now, officially the 20th car announced, and then like there are some that haven't been like officially confirmed, but expected. The expected number right now is 25. As of right now, it's October 2022. We don't need to worry about car counts right now.
Right.
We're not getting into that yet.
That's
It's
next
not
season.
that time.
We'll
It's
talk
not
about
that
it next
time.
season.
I don't want to have to do it again. So let's just hope it doesn't happen.
Early
Not-
listeners of our show will remember the weekly rant that Daniel would have on why we didn't have 33 drivers.
Twitter, I thought about deleting Twitter so much back then, bro. Oh my gosh, we don't. I
Crazy.
forgot that I even had a thing, and I started talking about like the car counts and just had like flashbacks.
Just get rid of
Like
it.
I just
Just-
shot. I was like, whoa. Final
That's funny.
IndyCar news of the week.
I have to get my hat. Give me a second. I have
It's
to get
it's
my
a little
hat.
sad to talk about.
Let's get my hat.
Dalton Kellett has confirmed, both he and AJ Foyt Racing have confirmed that they will not be moving forward with their partnership for 2023. He also said that as of now, he does not have any plans locked in, but he will keep everybody updated if anything changes. So as of now, we don't know if Dalton Kellett will be in IndyCar next year. This is like, if you know our show, if you're a new listener, welcome. If you know our show, you know Dalton Kellett is one of our closest friends in the motorsports world. He's always been super kind to us. He's always been very helpful, very supportive, and we've had him on the show multiple times. He's filled in for me when I've been sick, and Tristan actually wrote an article on burnoutsports.com talking about just how he's helped us, because unfortunately, like, it's sad. It's sad for him, it's sad for everybody involved. It's always sad when a driver loses their spot. We figured we'd talk a little bit about it just because we do know him. He's a great guy. I hope to see what can happen with him in the future. I hope he can stay in motorsports, whether that's IndyCar, IMSA, anywhere else. It just sucks to see. I know I've kind of said a little bit. I'll pass to you guys. I'll let Jay go first. Jay, do you just have anything you want to say just kind of about this whole situation?
Man, that day we sat there with his family and stuff and just like basically just hung out with them. That was really cool. Like that was the coolest time I've ever had in my life, I think. Like, but it's one of those, like, you know how like you have good days, but then like one of those is like one of those perfect days.
Mm-hmm.
That day, that whole day was like one of those like perfect days in a sense.
So like the end of a Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah, pretty much. Family. Family. Yeah.
That was awesome.
No, like I want to say big thanks to like all the Kelletts, Nicole Westra, everybody involved and that got Dalton to where he was. Dalton's helped us in a lot of ways. We've kind of talked to him a little bit this week. We've already kind of said our pieces to each other or whatever, but so like, yeah, like just big shout out to Dalton. He probably doesn't even realize how much he's actually helped us as our in our community and this, that, and the third, but genuinely, like, Dalton has been a great help to us, and we really love and appreciate Dalton for everything he's done, and even Nicole and all the Kelletts basically, and everybody who's followed Dalton and maybe got to liking Dalton because of us. We appreciate you guys too. So yeah, like that's all I kind of really have to say, Tristan.
Yeah, and if you guys haven't read the article that I wrote on Burnout Sports, make sure you go check that out. But something that I've always thought that was super genuine, and something that I've always noticed over the last couple weeks, is that you can always tell a Dalton Kellett fan because you can see the K-line hats from a mile away. Like, as an IndyCar, I've watched IndyCar and Indy Lights for years. I remember when Kellett was coming up through the ranks, and he was always so close to getting into victory lane, and I would always be like, oh, come on, you can get there. And then we never saw a win in Indy Lights, and I was surprised when he moved up to went to IndyCar in 2020 doing the part-time with AJ Foyt. Was really, truly excited when he almost got a top 10 at Gateway last year. Not this year, but last year. And just getting to know the guy over the last couple of years, and coming on the show. He's been on the show twice. We just hang out a lot. Something that I do want from the Indy Boys fans, and I want from the Dalton Kellett fans around the world, keep repping the K-Line hats, because these hats are absolutely gorgeous. Like, they're comfortable. Daniel will tell you, I will tell you, Jay will tell you, these are comfortable hats. Like, these are very nice hats. And here's the crazy thing, guys, they're not that expensive. Like, if you go to daltonkellett.com/store, get yourself one of these awesome K-Line hats. I love mine. I wear it all the time during the show. I think half of the time I see Daniel, he's wearing his K-Line hat. And keep wrapping them at the track. I'm going to be wearing this pretty much all next season at the track, because now I can wear it. So that's pretty sick. Still says AJ Foyt Racing on it, but I don't care. Bite me. Yeah. Thanks so much, DK, for all that you've done over these last couple of months for us, and getting to know you over the last year has been great. Thanks for supporting the merch line, as always. Yeah, shout out to the whole Kellett family. Thanks to Mark Kellett for getting me on to Molson Canadian. Molson Canadian, man. If you guys haven't checked out Molson, if you're over the age of 21 and you're looking for a very quality beer, Molson Canadian, man, that is some good stuff.
But you know what? The Dalton Kellett fandom will not stop.
No, it will not.
Because no matter where he goes, the certified moments are going to follow.
Yep, that's
you
true.
just can't stop them. You can't stop them.
And here's the thing. He's got a wedding coming up, and you know Nicole's going to be making plenty of memes.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
And if she's not, I will be. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Me and her are going to be like plotting, making these memes.
Yeah, but shout out to Dalton for all that you've done for us, and shout out to all the fans of Dalton Kellett and of the Indy Boys fans that you guys have gotten to know DK over these last couple of this last year with us, and I know a lot of his fans have actually came through the show, so it's really nice to see. Happy about that. So
what started as a meme became a friendship. And that friendship became a family.
Yeah, it's true.
We love you, Dalton Kellett.
I don't know if you've ever looked it up, Daniel, but if you type in certified Dalton Kellett moment, there's like thousands of tweets now.
Oh yeah, it caught on with like this weird niche, and I am kind of here for it.
Yeah. But anyway, 30 minutes of motorsport media was not what we expected today, but we had the SHR news and the Dalton Kellett news, so
we had talking points.
That's true. All right, so we love you, DK. So hope that you can come on the show again soon sometime, man. We know you're super busy and you're getting married, so we love you. Kisses, hugs, love. You're always going to be with us again in the intro now, because the intro is hype as hell. So let's go ahead and transition, guys. We got some race reviews to talk about. Okay, let's go into race weekend, guys. Start with the Championship 4 lock for the Xfinity Series. I've been calling it since the beginning of the season. I said put it in that Josh Berry is going to make the Championship 4, and my God, he has done it. Currently the points leader now. Josh Berry locked into the Championship 4. He's going to Phoenix, and here's the thing. I don't think Josh Berry's done. I think he might be in contention to win at Martinsville. But anyway, that's just me. Congratulations, Josh Berry. Going to pat myself on the back. One of those 4 spots is gone now, which means one of these drivers is going to have to racing completely on points. AJ Allmendinger with a tough break after the Brandon Jones caution. So AJ Allmendinger now below the cut line. That's crazy to see, seeing as he was actually leading this race when the caution came out. So, a lot of drama there. For Colleague Racing and for AJ Allmendinger, hopefully he has a good couple of weeks. We got 2 more races before Phoenix with Homestead and Martinsville. Homestead, he normally runs good at. Martinsville, not really, but it'll be. We'll see. We'll see with AJ. Right now, as we look at the point standings for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, Josh Berry, as I mentioned, is still running the points right there. Second place right now is Noah Gragson, 44 points to the good. Third is Ty Gibbs, 25 points to the good. Fourth is Justin Allgaier, 15 points to the good. Right below the cut time, 15 points, and 16 points behind him, Austin Hill and AJ Allmendinger. Brandon Jones minus 27 and Sam Mayer minus 36. The fact that Sam Mayer even made the round of 8 is amazing. I think this is an absolute win of a season for him because we all know he will be number 1 at that team next season. So, what does this mean for these 4 drivers? Honestly, if the Championship 4 started right now, I could see this being a Championship 4. I think AJ Allmendinger should make the Championship 4, and I think he still will. But Josh Berry, Noah Gragson, Ty Gibbs, Justin Allgaier. Beginning of the season, if you would have told me that was the Championship 4, I would have believed you. So 3 JRM cars in the Championship 4 right now with the 1 Joe Gibbs Racing car. How's that looking right now? Do you guys think that AJ Allmendinger will catch up, or do you think Austin Hill has a chance? I'm going to start with Jay.
Dinger will probably be fine, honestly.
Yeah.
I think he'll be fine.
I mean, 16 points, that's only 2 stages.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, he'd be all right. As long as they play for stages rather than going for... I mean, they can go for a win, of course, and it'd probably be easier. Honestly, I think it'd just be easier to go for stages, to be honest, rather than go for a win. So I would just play the stages. I would play the stage card, so, yeah. So...
You never know. Daniel, what about your boy Austin Hill? Do you think he's going to possibly make the Champ 4?
I think there's a possibility. Here's the thing. We saw this week, not that I thought like Josh Berry couldn't win. Obviously, he could. Anybody can win any given week. And I'm not putting my boy Austin Hill out of contention. He could still get in on points. People could wreck out. Things can happen. Anything is possible in NASCAR with the weird playoff system. And some people like it, some people don't. I'm not gonna say whether it's a good thing or bad thing, but facts are the facts. Anything is possible.
Right.
I refuse to pull Austin Hill out of contention until he's officially out of contention. It's just how it works.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I just you can't count Dinger out though. You can't ever
Yeah,
count
I'm
Dinger
not.
out.
I'm not counting AJ Allmendinger
Yeah.
out.
You can't
I
count
just
Dinger
am
out.
also not gonna count Austin Hill out.
I mean, he did run good at Las Vegas. Major improvement than what we've seen in the past, especially for the RCR guys on other tracks than like super speedways, basically. So I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, Austin Hill of the RCR guys tends to run well at other tracks.
Yeah,
He just hasn't won at a lot of tracks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he had a pretty good run and could have possibly based on strategy put together a win the other day, but I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. I think Dinger will be fine. Austin Hill could also definitely be in that conversation. So definitely can't count him out either, though. So.
However, the big 3 this season has been Noah Gragson, Ty Gibbs, and AJ Allmendinger, and the fact that one of them is probably not going to make the Championship 4 is it's starting to come into fruition a little bit because you have that man that drives the 7 car, Justin Allgaier, and I think he might be trying to sneak his way in there. Sorry, guys, a little bit of bad connection there. I'm all back now. Let's go ahead and transition to the NASCAR Cup Series. Okay. So race winner of this race was Joey Logano. Locked himself into the Championship 4. That is predictable. I think we all had Joey Logano in our Championship 4. I personally have him as my champion. Ross Chastain runs second. Also very predictable. I think I have Chastain in my Championship 4. Can't remember if anyone else does. But solid run by those two. I think those 2 runs were predictable. Chase Briscoe running in the top 5. I don't really think was that predictable. But Chase Briscoe, at a point in time, looked like he was going to steal this race away and win this thing. P4 finish for him is huge. He's still way below the cut line, but that is huge for that 14 team. And Denny Hamlin runs P5. Also, not going to lie, predictable because of what track we're at. But if the championship started today, the championship 4 would be Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, Chase Elliott, and Denny Hamlin. Okay, now let's talk about it. So, after stage one winner of this race was the 45 of Bubba Wallace. While he was leading the race, I believe, I can't remember if he was leading the race or not, there was contact made between him and the 5.
Oh, no, he was running he was like 5th. He was like running 5th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember because I did not watch this live at the moment.
Yeah.
So they're running. Kyle Larson drives it into the corners, pushes the 45 off the track. They never make contact, but none of them lift going into the corner. Wallace hits the wall coming out of 4, and then they make contact a little bit as they're coming down to the start-finish line. The way that these cars hit the wall, any contact to the wall can kind of screw your day. And so, visibly, I think Bubba Wallace was a little angry. He drives down the track, makes contact with the 5 car as they're going, I believe, 160 miles an hour down the front straightaway. They hit. Kyle Larson spins, hits the wall really hard, and then they both come down and they come to a rest as the caution comes out. Wallace then gets out of the car, runs up to Larson. They have a little bit of a shoving match. Not really a fight, more of just a shove match. And then they go their separate ways. Now, I'm not really going to talk about the incident on track because I believe everyone kind of agrees with the fact that Wallace probably shouldn't have done what he did on track. I think anybody will tell you that, even if you support Bubba Wallace. I mean, Jay, top 3 driver for Jay, top 3 driver for me.
Top 3 for me too, yeah.
He's a top 3 for you. Okay, top 3 driver for all of us. I don't agree with what he did, but the thing that I don't agree with is the way that social media reacted, because Twitter was terrible. It was absolutely awful. None of us, yeah, it's still bad. Seeing as there was probably going to be a penalty that's announced tomorrow. NASCAR Twitter was not a very great place to be for these next couple of days.
If Twitter was already that bad, I couldn't imagine what Facebook looks like.
I haven't even looked. I'm not even looking at Facebook. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I don't have Facebook, so I couldn't get on there anyway.
Lots of excuses for people just to be racist to Bubba Wallace. However, I'm gonna bring up some things in the past. Fans were cheering when Denny and Chastain had their beef earlier this season. Fans were cheering when Kenseth sent Logano into the corner at Martinsville. Fans were cheering when McDowell turned Bubba Wallace in the Coke 600.
No, it was the Bristol All-Star race.
Yeah, the Bristol All-Star race. I'm sorry. I don't get the double standard.
But when Bubba Wallace, you can have Davey Allison and I can't remember who else. Kelly Yarbrough fight Kelly Yarbrough fight in the infield in the first ever televised NASCAR race, and then you can have who was it that one year at Texas? Jeff Gordon, Keselowski, and Harvick all going at it. The moment Bubba I saw someone say on Twitter that Bubba Wallace revealed his true colors today. Yeah, he's a thug, is what I saw a lot of.
What that he is passionate about his sport. That didn't. Some people and. Over on the Indy Boys Racing podcast, sure, we do not agree with what happened on track because, to be honest, it was uncalled for. You shouldn't wreck a guy going 160 miles an hour down a front straightaway.
In a way, you are technically
no matter who
it
is
as a weapon.
Yeah, no matter who you are, you shouldn't do that. I do not agree with the way that some people on Twitter blatantly used this incident to spew racist comments and bring up past incidents. That's It's annoying, it's stupid, and I don't agree with it. But let's do the question because it's gonna come out in the next couple days, probably before the episode releases. What penalty should Bubba Wallace receive for his actions on Sunday? I'm gonna start with Daniel.
I think he should definitely get fined, 100%.
How much are you thinking the
Point.
fine's gonna be? In?
I don't know. That's something I'm not good at predicting that type of stuff. I know there should be some sort of fine, that's for sure. I feel like there should be some sort of point deduction. I mean, there have been point deductions for lesser things, especially recently, and this past year, there will be a point deduction. I'm stuck on if there should be suspension or if it is, no more than 2 races, in my opinion. 1 to 2 races maximum. The reason I'm stuck on if it should be a suspension, Noah Gragson didn't get suspended for Road America this year.
Yep.
Took out way more cars.
Took out a bunch of cars.
Speaking of cars that took out, Christopher Bell, playoff contender and championship contender, was involved in this wreck, and it did end his day.
Yeah, so I don't want to say it's like the exact same situation because it's not. But stuff like this happens more frequently than you would think. Maybe not in the exact same way, but similar enough, and they haven't done enough to really result in situations like this being much worse than other situations, if that makes sense. That's just my opinion. I think there should be some punishment. I'm still stuck on if it should be a suspension because of just things that have happened this season. Literally this season. Not just in the past. You can talk about the Kenseth Logano thing. You can talk about all these things that have happened in the past or the recent past. Similar stuff has happened in other NASCAR series this season. And not much action was taken. So, I don't know.
Yeah. Jay, what are you thinking for penalty? If you do think there should be a penalty.
I believe 100K to 300K fine.
That's honestly what I was thinking.
Definitely a point deduction. He deserves a point deduction because that, whether the steering broke or whatnot, which in these cars he could have a point with that the steering broke. I'm not saying it did. I wasn't in the car, so I don't know. Which these cars, your toe links do break pretty easy, so I just want to say that. But that's not. I'm not saying that to defend him or anything. But that's what his kind of like. I guess not necessarily an excuse, but that's like what his view on it was when he hooked Larson. But I think 100K to 300K fine. Definitely a points deduction. Should there be a penalty? No, not at all. Not at all. I'm like, because if you look back at old NASCAR, you never had penalties for people. Dale Earnhardt never got penalized for hooking Terry Labonte at Bristol twice.
Thanks.
You have people celebrating Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain earlier this season, as you kind of talked about a little bit, Tristan. They wanted Denny to get paid back on Ross Chastain.
Mm.
The only reason people are reacting like this is because it's Bubba Wallace.
I think if it was, because actually my sister, like she like doesn't follow racing a lot, but like she follows it because I follow it a little bit. She texted me, she said, "Did Bubba get in a fight?" And I go, "Yeah, this is what happened. That it is in our video, whatever." And she goes like, "Okay, so like, why is it such a big deal?" I go, I think it would, if it was anybody, it would be a big deal because the next gen safety is not up to par currently because we have had a career-ending injury already.
Career-ending, yeah.
And another driver with a similar injury, maybe not as severe, but a similar injury.
A lot younger.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, but I also feel like a lot of people are overreacting. Well, not overreacting, but were reacting this way because it was their baby Kyle Larson that got
so look, that's what I said.
Yeah.
So basically I said if it was anybody it would have been a big deal, but since it's Bubba, it's a big deal. There's a difference.
Yeah, it's a lot. I'm gonna kind of agree with Jay, except I think it'll be one or the other because a lot of people talk about saying how grit and grind the NBA was in the 90s and how if Steph Curry played in the 90s, he would just get punched in the mouth like they were getting punched in the face all the time. That Charles Oakley approach. No, that didn't happen. You were just bad at basketball. You look at the 80s and 90s with NASCAR, a lot of these guys that were driving were like farmers and they were guys that were not racing full time. Which is now, as we see, is kind of the ARCA series now. You had like 10 to 20 good drivers, and you had a lot of guys that were back markers. Now we see that's kind of how the ARCA series is with like 9 guys that run full schedules. If that, I think 8 people actually ran full schedules this season. But NASCAR now, I think Bubba will also get a $100,000 fine and a 100-point deduction to his season. Or he will get a 1-race suspension. I think it'll be one or the other. I don't think you can fine him and suspend him. I think it'll just be one or the other. I'm leaning more towards the $100,000 fine and the 100-point deduction. However, Cole Custer is fighting a $100,000 fine and a 100-point deduction for not doing really anything. So could the fine be more? Looking more in the $250,000 range. Possibly. I don't think they fine him more than 100 points, though. I don't think you can, really, unless you want to kill his season. The guys won a race this season, tore up the car that he won with in Kansas. I don't know. I really don't know what NASCAR is going to do about it, but I'm sure we'll find out in the next couple of days. So let us know your thoughts on Twitter. Please use kind language, and we will...
Be a decent human being about it.
Yeah, be decent
Thank you.
All right, guys. Now that we're 50 minutes into the episode, let's go ahead and transition into our predictions for next week.
All right.
All right. So, Jay, go over the points and if any of us called it this weekend.
Okay, so the Xfinity race, none of us got that right. Me and Daniel had Gregson, Tristan had AJ Allmendinger, and
but if you remember, I was really close to picking Josh Berry.
That's true, you were.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So we got nothing right in the Xfinity series. Actually, though, do you guys remember who our group pick was?
I do remember who our group pick was.
Who was
it? Was the main man. Josh Berry.
It was. So
it was the first time
points.
this season we hit on a group pick, everybody.
Yeah.
Congratulations. We all get +5. What a historic moment for the Indy Boys Racing Podcast.
Wish
Our
it would have been
first
Trevor
group pick
Bain.
hit.
Wish it would have been the group pick legend.
Does
this make Josh Berry a group pick legend?
Yeah.
Like officially?
He is the number 1 group
Let's
pick
go.
legend now. He's up there with James Davison and
Trevor Bain.
Trevor Bain.
And probably
group
Felix
pick.
Rosenquist.
Yeah.
Felix Rosenquist.
Probably.
That was always a good one.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, but now talking about the Cup Series, I had Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, Tristan had Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, and Daniel had Christopher Bell and Alex Bowman or Noah Gragson, whoever is driving. And Tristan was correct with the Joey Logano pick, and he got a point out of that. So that
I'm
makes
just saying my picks finished 1-2. So I didn't care who won this race. I was just like, someone please get a point.
And I was pulling for Briscoe simply for that.
But Jay, go ahead and read those points off because Tristan had a 6-point week.
Yeah, so I am at 28 now with the 5 extra points. Tristan is at 27 and Daniel is at 24. Daniel.
It's a good day to be Tristan Grider.
Daniel, what's going on, my guy?
I'm trying too many fun picks. I'm trying to be different.
Daniel Chaney.
Hey, the Gregson one wasn't a bad pick. Though. Let's be real.
Happened?
The Gregson one was not a bad reach pick.
Yeah. Shoot, I don't know, but
yeah, guys, first time this season we hit on a group pick. I think that's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. So, fun. But yeah, Tristan, if you want to start with Cup and Xfinity, and I don't know if there's
Yeah.
trucks this weekend, so.
There is no truck series this weekend. Is COTA not this weekend? Or is COTA next week?
COTA's this weekend.
Okay, so we do have some F1 action coming our way, but let's go ahead and start with Homestead Miami Speedway, my second favorite of the NASCAR mile and a half tracks. This is a fun race. Let's go ahead and start in the Xfinity Series. As always, guys, we do one pick. Looking at some of these guys that are racing in this one, gonna be a good one. It's really gonna be a good race. But who do we pick? Who is that guy? Who is the guy? If you remember earlier in the season, last year in this race was dominated by one guy that drives the number 9. So I'm going with Noah Gragson in this one. He led this race pretty much the entire time until he ran into the back of David Starr, and then Myatt Snyder won his first race of his career, which was a happy day for Jay Cox. But I'm picking Noah Gragson in this one. I think he locks himself into the round of 4, the Champ 4, with his win. So I'm going the 9 car. Noah Gragson.
Daniel?
I mean, I've locked in my Xfinity pick for the next few weeks. Because about a month ago, I said I was picking Gregson until he won the championship. So I have to go Gregson.
So
It's locked in.
Okay, really quick. Jay, are you picking Gregson?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I was gonna say we might make him the group pick, and then me and Daniel pick a different driver.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm looking more. I don't know, man. Hold on.
I almost went Allgaier. I'm not gonna lie.
That's a fair pick too.
Allgaier's due.
I think I'm gonna go on a limb, and I'm gonna go with the guy who finished second here last year, Brandon Jones.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was looking, honestly, I looked to see if Tyler Reddick was running this race, because he ran 3rd last year.
No, Daniel.
Oh yeah, that's right. But if it's okay with you guys, it's his final race, I believe, this season. Can we put the group pick legend back there in the group pick? I was gonna. Oh, you know I'm picking Trevor Bayne, baby.
That's fine.
Group
Put
pick
him in
legend.
there. I think he's due. He has ran amazing this season. Top 10, top 5. Second place, I believe he's run second 3 times this season. He's due. And I think we see a Trevor Bayne dub. Group pick. Do we get back-to-back group picks? If we get back-to-back group picks, boys, we're throwing a pizza party. I mean, this is an iconic moment. My computer is about to die. So we're going to grab the charger really quick. But let's go Cup Series action, guys, at Homestead, Miami.
Are we skipping Truck Series?
There's no Truck Series race at Homestead, Miami. They don't race until Martinsville.
Are you sure about that? Because the NASCAR app says otherwise. Saturday, October 22nd, 1 p.m., Homestead Miami Speedway, Camping World Truck Series.
What? We're not racing at Martinsville?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, I think it's back to back. I think it's back to back.
No, it's just Homestead, then Phoenix. Huh. How about that?
Wow.
Truck Series race. I didn't expect a Truck Series race this weekend.
You went straight to Xfinity. I was like, am I missing something?
No, how about that? I didn't expect a Truck Series race this weekend.
Why are
right.
the trucks not racing at Martinsville? That upsets me. I love the truck race at Martinsville. Wow.
Yeah,
I'm so disappointed.
Very
right
surprising.
now. I am so disappointed.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Are you serious right now?
All right. My pick, guys, is a guy that has ran extremely well this season, and he's a guy that runs well at Homestead. I'm picking Benjamin Rhodes. That's my pick, number 99, Ben Rhodes. I haven't picked him all season, so I'm picking Ben. That leaves you guys the Smith boys, so have fun.
Daniel?
Dan?
I'm thinking. Oh, it's been a while since the Zane Smith win. I think he's due. He's got to lock himself in.
He is due. Which is why I'm pissed that we're not going to Martinsville.
Um,
I cannot believe we're not going to Martinsville.
I'm gonna go a different way with this one. I'm stuck between two guys right now, and they're too
I know
high.
exactly
They're
who
too
he's thinking.
high number. They're too high number cars or trucks. Can
So
you
you're
guess?
thinking either Christian Eckes, I'm thinking is one of those drivers. Matt Crafton could be the other one of those drivers. Maybe a Stuart Friesen. Ooh, not Stuart Friesen.
I'm thinking Corey Haim or Ty Majeski.
Ooh.
Jeske. Corey Haim is a good pick, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about Corey Haim, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
That's not bad.
Heimlich maneuver.
He's
Duh.
saying it's time, baby.
It's time, bub.
I'm time, bud. All right. So now that we all have our Truck Series picks in, let's go ahead and go Cup Series action. I'm surprised that I was not expecting to pick the
But
Truck
here's
Series this week.
Tristan. I feel like we have to have a second group pick because I know there's one person that's going to be in all three of our picks.
And his name's Tyler Reddick.
Yeah.
No. He's not gonna be in my pick.
He's not one of your picks?
No.
Oh, okay.
Sick.
Well, I guess me and Daniel you can write it down for both of me and Daniel. My second pick is going to be Tyler Reddick.
Oh, he's my first pick.
I know he's your first pick, but I want to pick a playoff guy for my first pick. And that playoff guy is a guy that's currently below the cut line. And
You go, Willie B.
I'm going Willie B. I think he's below the cut line. He won this race last year, and Homestead is one of his best tracks. And do I think there's some other guys that could win this race? For sure. I think Ross Chastain could run well here. I think Chase Elliott could run well. Ryan Blaney always runs well here. Chase Briscoe ran well here last season and is a winner at this track in the Xfinity Series. I'm picking William Byron, and I'm picking Tyler Reddick. So those are my two picks. Dan. Tyler Reddick first pick.
Tyler Reddick first pick. Duh. Easy. Easy money. Wild card pick. I think it's time we get a little bit of a playoff spoiler that we thought we were about to get last weekend. I am going Chase Briscoe.
Interesting.
Chase Briscoe's not really a playoff spoiler, I feel like.
But
'Cause
he's a
it's in the
championship
playoff.
4 spoiler.
A playoff spoiler would have been if Justin Haley would have pulled it
Yeah.
off last.
I'm
at
saying
Vegas.
championship
That
4
man-
spoiler.
Oh, that is
because
definitely a championship 4 spoiler.
He almost spoiled it this past weekend. Everybody was about to crap
Facts.
their pants.
I would have
And
pissed myself if Chase
honestly,
Briscoe made the championship
with the
4.
momentum he's got,
Mhm.
don't rule out the Indy boy, Chase Briscoe.
I not gonna lie, I thought about Chase Briscoe, and my dad. Fun fact: my dad has Chase Briscoe in his championship 4, and has had him in his championship 4 since the beginning of the season. So
None of us had him passing the first round.
I didn't.
I didn't.
Or no, I had him
No.
go into the round of 8, I believe, actually.
No, I think you had Briscoe in your second round. I think you said
maybe.
him and Harvick were missing because the deepest, like we all had predictable guys. We all had Larson in the championship 4. I remember that.
Yeah.
We all had Chase Elliott in the championship 4. There's some crazy moments, but anyway, we'll go back after the playoffs, and we'll go back and we'll look at our playoff predictions and how terrible that they were. But yeah, there's some pretty interesting ones there. Let's go ahead and transition over to the J.
Oh.
Who's your
Okay.
picks, boy?
So, I'm actually copying you with William Byron because that's who I was gonna pick. That's my
Yeah, man.
preseason
It's
pick, actually.
I don't blame you, man. Like
And-
that's a good pick.
My tertiary pick is going to be Ryan Blaney.
It's good. Yeah. Jay
Tristan,
continues to pick
there's
Ryan
someone
Ball.
I thought you were gonna pick that you didn't.
Who?
Christopher Bell.
Michael McDowell.
Huh?
Here's the thing. I can't pick Michael McDowell because I already have Michael McDowell down as my forever wild
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So I get a point no matter what if
Yeah.
Michael McDowell wins. It's the
I
same
didn't know if
thing
you were
where I
going
get
for
a
a double
point.
pointer.
It's the same thing where no matter what I get a point if Trevor Bayne wins the Xfinity
No, we
Series.
all
Like,
get a point.
That's
we
right.
all
Yeah,
do.
we all get a point. And so if he wins this weekend, we get the group pick point and we get the extra point. So that'd be a
Yeah,
6
so
point win.
I didn't know if you were gonna try to go for the double point. But
No, I'm okay. I'll keep it, but Michael McDowell always runs well at Homestead. I'm gonna be cheering my ass off for that 34, but I think William Byron will get it done this weekend with Jay on that one. Who was your second pick again?
Ryan Blaney.
Ryan Blaney. Yeah, that's good. All right, Jay, take us through my favorite F1 race of the year, COTA.
All right. So for
Wonderful crowd. Wonder who's gonna win the championship.
I don't know who's gonna
Yeah, I
win
don't
the
know.
championship. It's almost like it's decided already or something. But
I really hope Ferrari can make a push.
yeah, okay. No, so we're at COTA, Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. I think actually this is going to be a very good race.
I think so too.
So, yeah. So I think my podium is going to be. I'm rolling at Max, of course. Second, I'm gonna go with Charles Leclerc, and then third, I'm gonna go with Checo. Tristan.
Okay, so here's my thing. Max already won the championship. In my opinion, I don't think Max Verstappen is going to be pushing as hard for the remainder of the season. However, he won this race last year, so he's winning again. So Max Verstappen's winning this race. Second place, I think we see him return to the podium. Give me Lewis Hamilton. Sir Lewis returns to the podium. And then third place, the consistent man all season in that third place has been Checo. So put Checo down for P3. I do think, though, that Lewis Hamilton and Checo are interchangeable for this win. For second and third this week. I think we see Ferrari miss, and I think we see a couple of other ones miss as well. I don't think we see a good weekend from George Russell. However, a threat for podium is a guy that's always been a threat for a podium this season that we've all said all season long is Esteban Ocon. I think we could see a good run from Ocon this weekend. And
Okay.
I don't know if Daniel's going to have him in the podium. He probably won't, but who's your podium this weekend?
Gotta go Max because it's the boring, easy pick. Gets me points, and I need them right now. Another hopefully easy points for me would be Checo in P2. P3. Do I want to just be boring and just say Leclerc? Yeah, I do. I'll put Leclerc P3.
All right. And that settles
Very
it.
similar podiums. Very similar podiums from
Yeah.
Jay and Daniel. Same three drivers, just in a interchangeable order. I am a little bit different, and I have Lewis getting a podium over Ferrari's man, who apparently is their golden boy, and Twitter's a funny place. Anyway, let's go ahead and transition, guys. Let's close this episode out. And with that, episode 40 of the Indy Boys Racing Podcast has officially come to a close. Follow us on all of our social medias, guys, at Indy Boys Podcast. They've been going on the screen the entire time, and they're also in the description of our videos and everywhere. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram, especially because those always bang, and we always ask questions on those. Follow Burnout Sports and go to burnoutsports.com. Check out all of the articles that me and Tony Donahue put out. Check out the Marion Phoenix because they love me and they love all of us over there. I'm kind of the editor of it, so you should probably check it out. And also, shout out to our boy Dalton Kellett. Go to daltonkellett.com/store. Buy you some merch. He has incredible hats, awesome shirts, just some neutral IndyCar merch, and it's really cool. Like, I wouldn't be telling you to go buy it if it wasn't cool. Like, this is a top 5 IndyCar hat for me of all time. This is a dope hat. These right here in the 4 and the under, it's dope. And if you like
I love all
hats
the
as much
patches
as-
on the back.
yeah, it's fire. Like, you guys have to check it out. And not just because he's our friend or because he's an amazing guy. Go buy the merch. Like, support the guy because he's a Chad and we absolutely love him. Follow us on all of our personal social medias, guys. I'm at Tristan Grider _ Jay's is confirmed _J, or the other way around. Daniel's is Daniel Chaney 75, or behind the chains. Signing off for everyone and for all you sweet princes and princesses out there. My name is Tristan Grider. I love you. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
Peace. Bow, 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 bow.